So, these are my standard and special certificates. Now, I'll take one small detour here. Small distraction. Have you ever thought why they make you sign a long form audit report? Today, as an auditor, you are going to a bank for just 4 days. How will you know what is happening? You need to have some guidance document that will finally tell you it is true and fair. That guidance document that you fill up is your LFAR. And today if you look at an LFAR, some questions will be asset year end, NPA, cash, stationery, stamps, while some other questions will be throughout the year. It will be how is the system of disbursement of advances, how is the system of sanctioning advances, how is the system of post-disbursement monitoring of advances. So today if you fill an LFAR in the true spirit, and if your LFAR is really clean, then your opinion is really true and fair. And when you are reading the LFAR, please read every word of the LFAR. If they are asking you a question on monitoring, he will ask you a precise question for which you must have a precise answer. Now, one additional thing that I think is becoming very important this year. See, as chartered accountants, we always look at financial NPA. Is it 3-month interest, 6-month service, not serviced? NPA. But how many of us stop to think about a technical NPA? Today, if my banking system is suddenly throwing out 55,000 crores NPA, you think it is only a 1-year non-payment issue? It cannot be. Which is why today, I'll give you a very small example. You have a drawing power for a CCOD account. Somebody fixes a drawing power at 1 crore at the beginning of the year. For example, take even Nellore. There must be a rice season. So I fix a DP. I'll give you a slightly easier example, which is notebook. I am a dealer in notebooks and somebody is fixing a CCOD for me at 1 crore. You know notebook season will get over in June after the schools open. So should I at all give him a CCOD of 1 crore after that? Which is why they say, for CCOD account, you have to come and give me the monthly stock and book dates. Forget a seasonal business. My daughter's wedding is coming. I am a small trader. I am not going to work for 3 months. Do I need a 1 crore CCOD? I should not. So here, this is what is important. Today, if there is a term loan for purchase of machinery, has the machinery been bought? Are you seeing the real invoice? Has it been installed? So your NPA can happen because of, first of all, giving him too much credit that he is not entitled to. Today I give him 1 crore, he spends on his daughter's wedding. Not allowed. The second thing is the quality of security. I give a housing loan. For 2 years, if he has not built a house, then the loan itself becomes invalid. I think it even becomes illegal because in 2 years your sanction will expire. So these, today by using Excel, in the first 5 hours, you can give all the work to your article assistant on a standard process and only focus on high level aspects. Now I'll give you one more example. Take a value secured loan. What is that? Loan against deposit. Now in a loan against deposit, the loan has to be in the name of the depositor. Today I had a case in a bank where there were 12 crores FDs. The loan was in the deposit was in the name of Srinivasan, and they had given a loan to 3 people, one Francis, one Siddharth, one somebody, to start. One wanted to start a hotel, one was doing his computer business. So I asked the bank, why have you given in the name of the borrower's name different? He says, no madam, this is VSL, this is value secured loan. I said, no, this is not value secured loan. And what was the loss to the bank? First of all, in a value secured loan, there is no processing charge. Secondly, the rate of interest is lower than a prime loan. Third, most important, that hotel was not running properly. It was nothing had happened. So I had, my entire evaluation was wrong. And I wanted to classify, and unfortunately, one of the borrowers defaulted. So the entire, or because the collateral or the VSL was the same, everything was going to become an NPA. So this is the importance of identifying non-financial NPAs in your bank, and this time for your top 30-40 accounts, I think as chartered accountants, the quality of lending should be more important, because anybody, you will say at the end, jewel loan there will be 100 loans will be expired. You give the 100 expired loans, our manager will go into the system and do renewal. Not allowed. Without the customer application form, you cannot even renew. It is not acceptable. Finally, to pay 3,000 rupees end of the month is very easy. That's when you need to be a little careful. So this is the part on branch audits. Yeah. And any bank branch audit, any branch, these are my 4 things. Assets and liabilities are properly stated. Income and expenses are completely and accurately accounted. Internal controls over banking operations. RBI norms and circulars are properly complied. Say you have only 4 days to audit a bank. I don't want to tell you too many things. If LFAR is filled properly and the Ghosh committee and Jilani committee are filled up to the best of your capability, then internal controls over banking operations is broadly satisfied. Leave it at that. What is an internal control? Any of the students know what is an? Can you give me an example of internal control? No members, only students. Give me one example of internal control.
Accountant and the cashier should not be done.
Super. He says segregation of duties. Give him a hand. Give me one more example of internal control.
Aggregation of person to work.
Yeah, same. So you are saying again, you're talking about authorization structure. Very good. So he talked about segregation of duties. He said every person should do only his job. Very good. Give me a non-banking example. There is a 5-letter word, starts with S, dash, 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 dash. Then there is another word that starts with V. 12-letter word. You do it every month end, or you do it quarter end, or you do it year end. Stock verification. That is an example of an internal control. Every day you should count the cash and keep it back. That is an internal control. So that's your internal control over banking operations. Before I move to CBS, I'll tell you what RBI norms and circulars. Now, what happens is RBI every year issues something called as a sunset circular. This circular is issued on the 1st or the 2nd or the 3rd day of July, depending on July 1 or 2nd. Now, this is the master circular that will govern all banks. No lending for real estate. No NPA provision, only for value secured loans and loans against NSC. Jewel loan, you'll have to do an NPA provision. But the security may be there. Okay? So these kind of top level guidelines. Housing loan, if one of the borrowers is over 60 or 65, period should be lesser. All this is your guidelines. Now, this master circular you need to download before you go for an audit. Now, which brings you to another very important question. When I do an audit, what are the top things I need? Like, like a doctor, you open, there'll be a box. Anybody seen James Bond movies? Same. James Bond opens, there'll be one gun and one cartridge and one blade and one something like that. What do I as an auditor need? I'm sure even in the Chiranjeevi movies it must be there, no? Just opens a box and then... Anyway, so I need first the RBI master circular. After that, the bank also will have its own standard operating procedure. Most important, they will have a loan manual. You must take the loan manual. Now, you may ask me one question. You may say, madam, you've already told me to take the client has anyway given me a manual. Why should I see the RBI master circular? Because my client can interpret the circular wrongly. I'll give you an example. I'm told sometime back, 5 years or 6 years back, I was not part of this bank audit then. Jewel loan, they need not provide for NPA as per RBI guidelines. They said because you've got jewels, then, but now currently, even for a jewel loan, you will have to do an NPA provision. But most bank managers don't know. They say, why madam, for jewel loan, why should I do NPA provision? I have the jewellery with me. No. Today, norms are very clear. Bank is not in the business of, keeping gold with them. Bank is in the business of moving money. So only where the money exists with the bank as a deposit or as an NSC, you don't make an NPA provision. Because there is value to value. Now, that is the second thing that you need to have as a standard operating procedure. Third, you need to have some kind of an understanding of core banking. These are the only three things you will need to do a bank audit. Now, coming to core banking. What is core banking? See, on one side, your bank audit is very difficult because you have no time. And the only thing I've noticed absolutely constant about a bank audit is, any bank you go and you ask 4 questions, the manager will tell you, madam, you are asking a lot, madam. The previous audit never did anything. Every bank. So this time you try telling him differently. Even before I go to ask the question, I say, sir, I know you will tell me that the previous auditor didn't ask, but I will guess. He said, no, madam. Previous auditor, excellent. The Rao Garu who came, fully did, you also do, madam. So, this is the only thing. So, I don't know the branch. I'm going there. I have 55,000 crore NPA. I have a problem. But what do I have in my favor? I have core banking. How does core banking help an auditor? Now, you go back 20 years. There were computers. There were supercomputers that used to look like. Now what you see, 1 terabyte is how much? Not even the size of your nail. One computer used to be a room as big as this. That time also banks had some kind of an operating system. They will data enter all their transactions. End of the day, they will take key figures and they will send to RBI. See, this key figure reporting is always important because RBI needs to know how much money there is there in the market. Only then can they plan for the country's finances. Then this dial-up and all came. I said, oh, I can send my information through phone lines. Wow, that's a good idea. So, thinking of all this, they said, and what was currently happening was, every bank manager must have been running his own kingdom. I am the manager, I have money, I have a computer, I will give you whatever. You come, you want 20,000, 80 days, fine. So they said, one of the first things they said about core banking was, they said we need to build a platform which is integrated. I need to know on a real-time basis what is happening everywhere. So it's a real-time system. I put the cash, it automatically gets updated everywhere. The second thing is, they said, I must cut discretion out. What is discretion? I can take a call. Ye kar do or do that. No. How did they cut discretion? CBS has a very strong master and a transaction data structure. Just like your SAPs, your Oracle. So what are my masters? I will have a customer master. I will have a product master. All my products will be there. Then I will have my tenor master. So deposit means I can do 30, 45, 60, 91. I cannot do 73, 72, 9. Unless it is a structured product. So I have a product master. I have a tenor master. I will have a rate master. For this, PLR will be sitting in one box in CBS. So they will go change the PLR, the rates will automatic. So how you view CBS is basically based on a relational database. It's like you just imagine a huge chessboard where you keep putting all the numbers and you can take take whatever number you want when you want it. So that's the second thing about a CBS. Now, as a bank manager, I cannot create a product. Only the HO. I can only call the product and give a loan to a customer. The third thing that CBS also does is access restriction. They say, if you're a cashier, you cannot do this. If you're a loan officer, you cannot do that. So how do they do it? They have something called as a profile. So they create a cashier profile. They create a manager profile. They may create a scale 1, a scale 2, a different manager card, different profile. So I can do only my work. Which is why you have to be very careful in a banking atmosphere that passwords are not shared. I cannot recollect, but if in any aspect there is a question on password sharing, please answer this very carefully. Because a lot of times there could be sharing that's happening that sometimes they might even come and offer it to you, but please stay away. So you ask him to log in, show you the system and log out. So that's the third thing about CBS. Now the fourth thing about CBS